So I'd like to welcome everyone this evening. And so today is week 2 of our 10-week meditation course. And for those of you who weren't here last time, my name is Ajahn Nando, and I'm originally from Winnipeg, born and raised. And in 2006, I went to Thailand and to stay at Wat Pah Nanachat, or the International Forest Monastery, where I ended up ordaining as a monk. So I've been a monk for about 17 years now. So this is week 2. So last week in week 1, we went over the basics of meditation, kind of the beginnings stuff for it. So we went over stuff like what is meditation, why do we meditate? We went over our posture, and that there's no one posture, one way to sit for meditation. We went over attitude for meditation, because when we meditate, it's not like other endeavors or other things we do in life, that it's a little different, and we need a little different attitude when we go into meditation. And then we started working on breath meditation, and we went over the basic method of breath meditation. So this week, for the second week, we're going to work more on breath. We're going to elaborate a lot more of what we've already got, of stuff we've already introduced or started with. So we're going to work more about the breath, more about breath meditation. I'm going to introduce another technique for breath meditation, which actually I think is probably the best technique for starting out for beginners in meditation, but it's also great for experienced meditators too. It's a really good one for when our minds are a little more scattered, or we're a little more agitated and stuff, and we need to bring the mind down a bit, calm it down. And then I'm going to give a couple techniques for dealing with distracted thinking, because as everyone who started meditating knows, one of the biggest problems when you're trying to meditate is not thinking. And so I'll give a couple methods. I won't get too much into it, because in a couple of weeks we have a whole class dedicated to how to deal with these different difficulties that can come up in our meditation. So that's how I'm going to start the class for today. And I am glad to see so many people came back. This is the first time I've done a course like this, so I wasn't really sure if anyone would end up coming back, or just be kind of me sitting here by myself. I know things naturally kind of taper off over time, but I am glad to see so many people came back. And one of the things is, especially last class, we went over and learned like a basic meditation method for breath meditation. And after that, we may think, okay, well, that's it. I know how to meditate now. I know the basic method, but there's a lot more to it than that. But something that it's a skill we want to learn, and there's a lot of things to learn about just the breath, and about different techniques for breath meditation, different little hints, and different things we can do to work on it. So it'd be very similar to, say, learning other skills in life, like, for example, learning how to play basketball. You could say something like, okay, here's the method for how to throw the ball in the hoop. And you hear that once and you're like, okay, great. Now I know how to do it. But then you see over time someone who really wants to get good at basketball, there's all these little things they learn, like how much jump to use when they throw the ball, how much spin to put on it, how much follow through to do. And so it's the same with meditation. We will have a method, but over time, we're going to be learning about it, learning different things to do. And like in basketball, if we have a coach to help us out, same here, as we have someone who's a little more experienced who can point things out to us. And over time, we just have to work on it ourselves too, and we'll learn different things. And with these different techniques, some work in different times. So sometimes maybe if we're a little more, our mind's a little more agitated, we might need to use one technique. So if the mind's really up, we need a way to calm it down. But if the mind's really down, maybe we're really tired or something, we'll have to use something else to try to bring it up. And so we have these different techniques and these little skills, and we have to be actively working on trying to learn it. And again, one of the reasons we start with the breath and we keep going with the breath is, it's very natural. It's very simple. It's not complicated. There's nothing, esoteric or difficult about it. It's just something which is here. It's part of life. It's universal to everyone in life. So it's gonna be really easy and natural for us to use. And one of the things we're also going to discover is the breath can really reflect a lot about ourselves, a lot about our moods and our mind states. So, you'll notice that when you sit to meditate, if you're really agitated, a lot of times the breath is very quick. It's quick, it's shallow, but then when you calm down, the breath calms down. It gets slower, gets a little more deeper. And so you can really learn a lot about where you're at from the breath. Because one of the things we discover when we start meditating, we start calming down, is how agitated and how worked up our minds can be. And we just didn't realize it because we have no point of reference. So, because we're always agitated, we don't realize we are because we're so used to it. So it'd be kind of like if you have someone who smells really bad and they're used to the smell already and they don't realize they smell bad. But once you've bathed them and given them some fresh clothes, then if they smell that again, they now have the reference to what clean smells like. So when something smells pretty bad, they can, right away be like, oh, wow, that's pretty tough. So it's going to be like that for us. And one of the things when we're meditating is we want to really enjoy what we're doing. Sometimes we can feel like, it's work or, oh, I've got to do this, this half hour or hour, however long we're meditating. Let's just get this over as quick as possible. But we want to go into it and just enjoy what we're doing, enjoy the experience of it. When the talked about how to get like concentration, like this real like peaceful tranquility in meditation coming from, it's called samadhi. And so he said first, he used the Pali, he said pamoja leads to piti, leads to passaddhi, leads to sukha, leads to samadhi. So what that means is gladness leads to rapture, leads to tranquility, leads to bliss, and leads to samadhi or concentration. So we want to go through it with, gladness, happy. So if we can, just even try to actively change the ways we think about it, like, okay, great, it's time to meditate. I'm doing something good for myself right now. And so really go in with that positive mind state to it. So for today, we're going to be learning a meditation technique, which, like I said, I think is really, really great one to start with, and you can use all along. So it's a method of counting the breaths. So what we're going to do is we're going to, the same as we did last time, we're going to first get into our meditation posture, and then we're going to really start bringing awareness of the present moment. And then we'll again go to the body, start becoming aware of the body, the experience of the body in the present moment. And then we're going to start this method of counting the breaths. So what's going to happen is on the breaths, we're going to count one. And just in our head, we don't need to count out loud. So we'll count one on the in-breath, and then on the out-breath, we count one. And then the next in-breath is two, and the next out-breath is two. And then in-breath is three, out-breath is three. Then in-breath four, out-breath four. Then in-breath five, out-breath five. And then we go back down. So next in-breath is five, and five, four, four, three, three, two, two, one, one. And then we do it again, but this time we go up to six. And then from six back down to one. And then again up to seven, and seven back down to one. And then eight, eight back down to one, and up to nine, nine back down to one, and then up to 10, and 10 back down to one. And then we do it in the reverse, 10, 10 back down to one, then nine, nine back down to one. And then we do that all the ways back down to five. And I know at first you think, oh, but I'm just counting, it's not, I'm not like the count from Sesame Street, it's like, it can feel, but it's a really great way to keep with the breath because one of the things is sometimes, especially if our mind is really active, the breath can be a really subtle object and hard to stay with. Like I was saying before, our minds can be really worked up and really used to doing things and thinking and reading and watching TV and TikTok or whatever it is, and go from something where we have so much mental activity or mental stimulus to something as subtle as just the breath can be difficult. So having an object like this makes it a little more, there's a little more going on. There's a little more for our mind to grasp at and hold on to. So it's the same as when we're sanding wood. So if you had a piece of wood and you've had it freshly cut, it's very rough. So if you want to sand it and get it smooth, you don't start with a really smooth sandpaper. What you do is you work with a coarser one with the bigger grain, and then you sand there, and then you move down to the smaller, the finer grain sandpaper to get that real smooth. So it's the same with our mind. When our mind is very agitated and stuff, we want to use a bigger object, an object which kind of has a bit more going on. And then as we calm down, we can go to the more refined of just watching the breath on its own. And then, so just for a couple quick kind of little tools or little skillful means you can do if when that thinking comes up. Because what's going to, even when you're counting, you're going to be counting like 3, 3, 4, 4. Oh, I look at this room up here, it's really nice. Or, oh, tomorrow I've got to go to work. And then, so the thinking is just going to happen. So one of the things you can do is 3 deep breaths. So on the inhale, you completely fill up your lungs and then you hold it. And then on the exhale, you completely empty it. You do that 3 times. And that's a good way. It really can help bring you back to the present moment. It kind of can cut out a lot of that thinking and just bring more awareness to the breath. One of the other things you can do is just ask yourself, is this important right now? Whatever you're thinking about. Because if it is important, you'll remember it later on after you're done meditation. So just be like, right now, is this important? Or, I can just set that aside for right now. So just recognize it as thinking, as thought, because sometimes just knowing it for what it is, it kind of loses its ability to capture the mind, and you can just let go of it. Or you can also, when you're doing the breath, you can focus on the end of the breath. So like when you're breathing, you're watching the whole breath, but really, really pay extra little attention to right the very end part of the breath, just that end of the exhale. And that can really help cutting out that thinking and stuff. Because again, you're putting just a little extra bit of the mental energy into the breath. So now that I've given this new meditation object, maybe we can try doing some meditation together for maybe about 25 minutes, half an hour. So if I'll start by getting into our meditation posture, sitting in a position that's comfortable, not far to either side, not leaning forward or backwards. A position that's comfortable. Start to bring our awareness present moment. Of our experience here, present moment. Start to become aware of the body, of our experience here, body, posture, any sensations we're experiencing in the body. There's anywhere experiencing tightness or tension or stress, gently put our awareness allow these areas relax, to open, to loosen, and to just they don't relax. That's okay. Try to force it, create more tension. Become aware of the breath, sensation of breathing. The out breath. Feel comfortable and we start trying to count our breaths instead of counting. this and that, into our meditation object. Started to wander off. Present moment, the breath. wander off. Gently bring it back to the breath, judging ourselves, not hard on ourselves. This is all completely natural. Coming to the end of our, just gently bring our minds out our meditation. Try to maintain generated over the last half an hour. Feel ready. Gently open our eyes. Finish our meditation sitting for this evening.